All right, the last piece I want to go over is distance. Start a fresh sheet here. So basically we figured out, we plotted our points, we got our degree of travel, we converted our grid north degree to magnetic degree so it's ready to be set on the compass. Now we want to know distance. So you want to know an exact distance right down from each point to the other, how long it's going to be. So you're not going to overshoot. If you overshoot, you can kind of look at where you're at. So you're not overshooting and you can kind of expect when you're going to approximately get there. Again, just more information to help you get to the point effectively. So that's what it brings us to pace beads or ranger beads or whatever you want to call them. You strap these on, you can make them, you can get them cheap. And basically every 100 meters, you're going to pull one down until you get to 900. You walk another 100 meters, then you pull 1,000 meter bead down and reset these 100 meter ones. Keep going until you get another one. Now you're 2,000 meters, and that's kind of how you keep track of where you are. Some people do stones in their pockets. I don't think that's very convenient. So these are a good way to go. Now, thinking in meters is kind of weird. Even if you did grow up metric, it's nice to kind of have an idea what that means. So that's where we get into the pace count. So basically you want to know how many paces does it take you to go 100 meters. So you're going to measure out 100 meters outside, which is a decent distance. And then you are going to, you're going to walk that and measure what you get. So say it's 60 is what mine was. So you walk. So basically the way you do this is you can do either foot. You start with a foot and then you count, you choose your left or your right and you count every time that foot hits the ground. So I did the left. So I walk with start with my right and then I go 1, right, 2, right, 3. So every time my left foot hit the ground was, another pace. So I got 60 paces in that 100 meter pre-measured out distance. And then you go, that was one way. Then I go back again. And whatever you get that way, you record that. So say I got 60 both ways, I add this up to get 120. Then I divide by 2 for accuracy. And obviously that's going to equal 60. Now they're probably not going to be the same. So that's why you go count up, you count back, add them together, divide by 2. And so far that's your pace count on mild to rough terrain, wherever you're testing it on. And the harder part is you take that and you measure that 100 meters uphill. You get a measurement uphill. Just for simplicity's sake, you get 60 again, say 60 paces. You go back downhill and mark these separately because one's uphill, one's downhill, and then do it again. Mark your second uphill, your second downhill, add both of them together, divide by 2, and then you add all 3 together, divide by 3. Basically, you're seeing your average. You get where I'm going. You get your average pace count. Mine actually was 60, so that's why I'm using that. I'd say they range from like 55 to 75 or somewhere around that, depending on what you're carrying, who you are, obviously all that stuff. So mine was 60. So I know for me, whenever I walk 60 paces, again, counting every time I left it hits the ground, I'm counting 1. When I walk 60 paces, I've gone basically 100 meters. So I walk 60 paces, pull one of these down, and now I know I've got 100 meters. So that's a good way to keep track of where you are. I'd say it's a necessary way to keep track of where you are. The other thing I got into was if you're ever out there by yourself and you're like, I don't know, meditating or praying, or you don't feel like counting out loud or to yourself the whole time, or you're walking with somebody, I got this for that. I haven't tried it yet, but I figure every time I left it, it's the ground, even when I'm talking to somebody because I don't want to count, but we still want to know where we're going, I'm going to try just hitting this. That's the best idea I've had so far, as far as something I could do so I can actually have a conversation if I'm walking with somebody, but know the distance if we need to figure out where we're going. So yeah, that's something I just recently got and haven't tried yet. And then something I didn't go over earlier was to measure distance on the map. You can use your protractor, which I think I put away. Here it is. You can use your protractor to measure distance to see how far it is, so you can mark it before you go, so you know each point the distance. Or you can, this is pretty simple, but you could take your starting point to A, mark it, and then go down to your legend and see what your distance is. Do that whole thing. That's pretty self-explanatory. But again, however you want to get it, you get it, and then you are going to figure out what your pace count is. That's really important. And then mark each leg of the journey so you know what to expect. I know like in the military, I think they do walking rough terrain, uphill, downhill. I think they do running. I think they do night. They do a whole bunch of pace counts, different gear sets. For my sake, I only did uphill, downhill, and straight as the bare minimum. Figured all those out, added them together, divided by 3 to see what mine was, and mine was 60, which seemed low to me, but I don't know, that's what I got, like, exactly. So my pace count seems to be 60. Again, wear whatever you're going to wear when you're doing it. So that's pretty much it for the basic stuff. There's some other stuff I want to go into eventually, like, again, walking in a straight line, you're going to run into issues where you have to go around it. So the box method to keep your pace count when you run into an obstacle. So boxing an obstacle, stuff the military uses like intersection, resection, some really fun tricks for how to figure out where you are on a map when you're out there, to basically locate a site for attack. Different things you can use that are really fun, and those things are shorter videos to make probably, but they're a little more, they're after all this stuff. So I don't know where you guys are at with all this stuff, or if you used these things already or what, but eventually I might go into some more of the specific things as I'm learning them myself, but that's kind of the real rough basics for now.